Dawn.
No, because they're my rules. And for the next 5 days, if you don't do what you like with them. Fine, because you've heard them now.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean to say I have to live by them, no?
No.
Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're watching an episode of Wifeswap, the UK edition. And this one, oh my god, I am not kidding. Every one of my Scottish ancestors would be fucking proud of how much Scottish rage came out of me watching this episode. I'm not even kidding. But before we begin, if you're not familiar with this show, it is a TV show where two families who are the complete polar opposite of each other swap wives for 2 weeks. On the first week, the wives have to live by the family's rules, and on the second week, the family have to live by the wife's rules. And then chaos happens, as it should. The two families going against each other are the Keys and the Litchfields. The Keys are super wealthy, they only care about their looks and are very, very judgmental. Whereas the Litchfields are poor, they don't care about their looks and are kinder, I would say. Like, they're not judgmental, they're not like horrible or anything like that. Just from the episode, they just seemed like actually pretty decent people. Normal people. So anywho, so the wealthy woman Dawn is married to Paul. And Paul is the most vainest man on this planet. I am not kidding. This man gets every beauty treatment under the sun. He gets pedicures, manicures. Every inch of his body hair is waxed. He goes to the gym, and at one point he goes out and spends a shit ton of money on clothes, but about 70% of this episode he walks around like this.
Just do the normal girls tidying your nails up.
What the fuck? Oh no, yeah, and Paul does sweet F all.
Responsible for the household chores, definitely.
I've got no household chores.
His wife does everything. She even runs his bath for him. This man is just a giant gangster looking baby who loves himself a little bit too much. Lisa, the other family, is married to Mick and they have 3 kids. Lisa and Mick don't much care about their looks in comparison to Dawn and baby Paul. And they don't live a lavish lifestyle like the other family do, but there's lots of love and that's all you need, isn't it? So the families swap wives and the wives fit into their roles. Lisa has to do everything in the wealthy people's house, like the cleaning, doing the dinner, looking after the animals, etc., all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot for her and she isn't used to it. Like, everything has to be done at a certain time instead of like dragging out all day and making a whole day of it. They had to have like a schedule kind of thing. Whereas Dawn is in a much more relaxed role, if you will, but oh my god, this woman is so judgmental. She like brags about her nice house and stuff like that, and like they've got, for Lisa's family, they've got like a small garden that's mostly patio and concrete than it is grass, and she's just staring at the window and saying how lovely her garden is and this, that and the next thing, and she's just so mean. And she goes down the street at one point and she's just saying like how horrible it is and it's so like bins everywhere, just really nasty woman. Like, fair enough, Dawn has a lovely home, but don't bash others how they live. And at least they have a home, health, like for Lisa's family, at least they have a home, health and food, and that's all you need, isn't it? I really don't like Dawn, and you'll find out why. I don't like Paul. No, I don't like him. Ugh. As this episode goes on, we notice that Lisa is wanting a lavish lifestyle, and this actually upsets Mick, as he feels this is something that is very much out of his reach. And one night, after Dawn is bragging about what Lisa will be getting up to with Paul, like Paul will be taking her to fancy restaurants, basically whining and dining her, Mick can't hold it in anymore and has a heart-to-heart with Dawn.
Can you imagine how I'm feeling that your husband is giving her the things that I can't?
I definitely do. I do understand what you're saying.
As I say...
And I know that you would love to give her that. You'd love to give her that dream.
But I know I can't.
But you'd never know what's round the corner. He's a bit of a quiet baby. He's admitted it anyway, so I don't care. My Paul ain't. I realise my Paul's a proper geezer. He ain't no bleeding woofy like him next door.
Yep. We all hate Dawn now. More so than we already did. So real day comes and Lisa says her rules and Dawn says hers. Don gets the kid a hamster, and Mick says since day one that his kid isn't allowed a hamster, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, because you went behind my back, Don.
No, because they're my rules. And for the next 5 days, if you don't like, do what you like with them. Fine, because you've heard them now.
Yeah,
Fine.
I mean to say I have to live by them, no?
No, like
If you said to
I
me-
lived by your Lisa's rules,
Right.
though, didn't I? Because
No.
I'm Lisa. So I put clues
No,
in
you are
place.
not, Lisa.
I'm
You are
far
far from Lisa.
Too right, mate. I wouldn't want to look like that.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Get out. Bye-bye.
You wouldn't want to look like that. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare coat my missus off. You do not know me. You do not know Lisa. Right?
So yeah, the show basically ends there. I actually streamed my first reaction watching this episode, and oh boy, does this make me rage. And I've added the clip, so please enjoy. I am just watching some Wife Swap this now, and this woman, oh my god, she is a bitch. She is such a bitch. She just made fun of this man's wife by like the appearance of her, and been making fun of him the whole time. Oh my god, and this man here, not him, this is the bad man. He's just like just horrible. He doesn't even know how to clean a dish. He doesn't do anything. His wife, this one, she does everything in the house and he does nothing. And then she's like, he's more man than the other husband and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, he doesn't even know how to like cook. He doesn't know how to do dishes. He doesn't know, like do anything. And she thinks he's more man. She's a bitch. Yeah, exactly. Good lord. Like, bleh. This lady has been so insecure. Like, basically, she lives like in we're just going to say what the words they've been using. So like in a poor kind of like house and things like that, okay? And she's been living with this family that's very well off and stuff, right? So the whole time that she's been really insecure, and she's just been feeling like I want to have all these lovely things, blah blah blah. And this lady's husband has been crying and saying like, you know, I wish I could provide this for her and things like that. And like this, oh my god, it's such a shame. And now she's just realised that even though they have these wonderful things, they're still horrible people. It doesn't matter if you've got like these like fancy pantsy golden, I'm not going to say what I said earlier. I accidentally said golden showers, but I meant like a shower head of gold, or like a gold bathroom or something like that. But they have like luxurious things, and I said like the only luxury things is needed in this world is a house, a family, food in your belly, like heating, all that stuff. What they have is luxury plus, and this woman, I think she's realized that, and I'm so glad, because her husband is awesome. He is like sticking up for his wife at every single turn, and this other woman is horrible. Like, oh my god, I just want to like dare in. Like the Beatles said, all you need is love. Exactly. Meanwhile, I've been doing all my housework, organising my shit, restoring retro stuff, and I've been single for a decade. You know what? That is the thing, is like you need, like, even if you're single in a partnership, you either work together, or if you're alone, like you do it yourself. Like this man, like as I was saying, I said this at the beginning, like this man doesn't do anything. I was just thinking that as well. It's just like if you're like in yourself, like you be doing the dishes yourself, and the fact he just makes the wife do it, and it's like, my god. And he also goes to tanning beds, and I ranted at the screen. I was just like, we all live in the UK. We know you're going to the tanning beds. You did not go to Spain today and come back tomorrow. We know you went to the tanning beds. It is obvious, dude. It's such an unfulfilling life to do nothing. Cannot imagine it. Yeah, I know. Like, there's just like this man just goes to the gym, which is nothing wrong with him going to the gym. You be healthy, things like that, right? But he just goes to the gym, then he comes back, then he gets his his beauty shit done. He gets pedicures, manicures. He gets he doesn't get his hair done because he's bald, so that doesn't get done. But he also gets like the tanning bed, the waxy nosy thing, to get the nose hair pulled out. He does all this shit. Right, you know what I did the other day? I took my nail polish off. I'm not putting any back on because I can't be arsed, and that's what we called it. Yay! Waxy nosy thing. That is exactly what it's called, and that'll be branded, and it'll be put in all the wax strips. Oh yeah, that's what he gets his done as well. He gets his chest waxed, his legs waxed. I don't think there's 1 ounce of hair on that man's body. not on the top. He gets his eyebrow waxed. They're still kind of there, but but there's not one bit of hair on that man. So he's clearly an alien. There's not one bit of hair. But oh my god, he just gets all this stuff done. See, I'm about a rant now, but oh my god, he's and then he made fun of Asda clothes. Who cares? Like, I've got fucking Asda bloody trainers and they lasted longer than goddamn fucking, what are they called? What are the things called? What are they bloody baseball boots called? Converses. They lasted longer than them. And I bought them for like 40 quid back in the day. And then these ones, I'm so sorry, I'm in a bit of a rant now. My partner will no doubt hear this later. There's nothing wrong with them. But this man is just like, oh, it even smells minging. And it's like, that's because you're putting it on your body because you're minging. Oh my god. He's a brat. Oh, yeah, another part, right? There was the other man, I can't remember his name, I think his name's Mick, right? He was really sad, right? I'm not even kidding, this actually made me want to like cry. I didn't though, I held it in. He is talking to Karen, right? She's not, I don't know her name, but I think her name's Karen because she's got a Karen haircut from the 2000s, right? And she was like sitting down, having a wee smoke, right? And then he comes over, he's all upset. He's in the room before that, crying to the camera, saying like, all I'm hearing from Karen is my husband is taking your wife to the Chinese and we're going to get champagne, blah, 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 blah. And then he's sitting there, and Mick's sitting there crying to the cameraman as the cameraman's staring at him with the big fucking camera. And he's like, I can't provide my wife this kind of stuff. I am fucking out of breath, by the way, because I'm ranting so much. Holy shit. I'm so sorry. Breathe. I know. I don't take a breath when I'm fucking doing this shit. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. So, Mick is saying to the cameraman that I am not able to provide my wife this stuff that she wants. She wants a big fancy house. She wants this. She wants that. Blah, 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 blah. And then he goes to Karen, bitch face as well. She's a didn't like her. I can feel the Scottish coming out seriously when I'm ranting about this. Holy crap, it's not staying in. And then she was like sitting down having a wee smoke and he comes over, right? And I understand from his point of view, because I was saying this earlier, like when he was like trying to explain his vulnerability from him, and he's like saying like, he's like kind of off to the side and he's like breathing in, he's like holding his breath, he's like getting all intense and upset because he's struggling. I understand, totally understand, right? So that was a massive thing for him to do, was being vulnerable in that moment and say, I can't provide my partner with what she wants. I can't do this and I can't do that. So Karen, bitch face Karen's like, she's like, oh, well, you don't know what's around the corner, because that's what you want to hear, isn't it? And then afterwards, she goes to the camera and she's like, oh, he's just a big baby, isn't he? Oh my god, I was just going to launch myself through the screen at that point. I was like, are you actually kidding me right now? Oh no. Allow it. Bish isn't a bad word, Maud. Jesus Christ. She was just like, oh, I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, you can't, like, that poor man, took a lot for him to, like, open up and say that kind of stuff. And then she just, at that point, I was just like, no, she needs to get out. She needs to leave. And the reason why she got kicked out now is because she bought a hamster even though he told her not to do it. And she used horrible, like, ugh. Oh my god, like, I can actually feel, like, every time I get annoyed, I can hear my ancestors of Scottish rage coming literally coming out. I can feel it, all the fucking Braveheart in me, like, rah! And everything. Oh my god. Exactly, freedom to rant. Like, oh shit. Oh, like, I wish I should really watch more of this show. It just pisses me off. There's a D in there somewhere, oh, right, that the ends have to go all the way off screen. For that to get in there. Yeah, exactly like that. Holy shit. Right, I need to calm the fuck down and zen myself. And we'll watch the rest of it. Another thing, this man, right, when Lisa, that's the lady that's living with him now, that she's away like fiddling about with like doing all the what's it called, the housework and shit, right? He went to the tanning salon, right? And afterwards, you know what he went and did? He went to go and get clothes, right? He went and go and get clothes, and half of this freaking episode he's not been wearing a top. Why do you need more clothes? You don't wear tops. What is the point? He goes to the gym not wearing a top. He's walking about pouring himself a glass of wine apparently with no top on. And he lives in the UK. His heating bill must be through the roof because there's no doors to keep the heat in. Look at that big archway. That's like in loads of drafts, and I know that because my mum had a freaking stupid archway like that with no roof for the freaking stairs, and it was cold. We sat next to the heater with blankets, and it was still cold. So this man, his nipples are going to cut that fucking glass off that bloody cupboard. Holy shit.
She can't wait for her change over rules. So I think I may be barred from going out.
Yeah, but you should be thinking about your children because he's way getting pissed. It's like, oh my god, you have children! Look after them! Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching another episode of wifeswap, the UK edition. And because the last wifeswap episode got me so riled up that I couldn't hold back my Scottish rage, I thought it'd be fun to indulge in another one. If you aren't familiar with the show, it is about two families who are the complete polar opposite of each other, and they swap wives for 2 weeks. On the first week, the wives follow the family's rules, and on the second week, the wives have their own rules and the families must follow. And in doing so, it is supposed to help the families change for the better. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time, there is lots of drama and chaos. And that's why we watch it, right? There is a UK, USA and an Australian edition of this show, but I have not watched the Australian one yet, but maybe that's something we could watch at some point. Anywho, so this episode we have the Comptons. Tony and Lucy have been together 10 years and they have 3 kids. The family are laid back, mad, the dad's words by the way. The kids don't have any kind of structure of rules or discipline, and the mum lets the kids swear. Yeah. Great parenting. Lucy is also a stay-at-home mum, whereas Tony is the main breadwinner, and when he goes out to work, she is stuck at home with the kids. Her words, not mine. Since Tony brings in the money, Lucy relies very heavily on Tony, and he does everything for her.
I think a man's role, he should do everything. But it's not maybe the best thing, because if anything happened to me, you know, then she might be lost.
If I had to go to trains to somewhere now, I would not know even how to buy a ticket. I wouldn't even know how to pay a bill.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Like, you should be knowing how to do that yourself, especially like knowing how to buy a bloody train ticket. Like, you should be knowing how to do that, you know. Even if it takes you like a couple of times yourself, eventually you'll get it. But no, she should know that. Her parents should have taught her that. Being kept is nice, but level depends on needs. I agree. Like, it's like in a partnership, it should be like both people working together, and that's how it should be. Like, that's how it is. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. Like, someone's like looking after you in that kind of way. Like, they're making all the money and you're just sitting like I can understand like if you've got kids and like one does the job like he's doing, and then she looks after the kids. That makes sense to me. Okay, but if you're then relying on him to go to the shops for you, and you're not going yourself, like, what is the point in you? You know. Like, he's got his responsibility, then he's going to take on hers, and it's kind of like, okay. I just feel in a partnership, it should be working as a team and not relying heavily on one of the partners to look after the other. I don't think it's fair for the man to do everything, nor should the woman do everything. Like, if he's doing everything for her, and I mean, like, going to the shops for her and stuff, like, that's not going to help her and her responsibilities. If she needs to go out for, I don't know, let's just say she needs to go out for bread and milk, right? The usual. And in doing so, she goes out herself. Like, the other 2 kids are at school and she's got the youngest. They could go for a walk. The child can get some exercise and she can get some fresh air. And doing so, she can go to the shops and get some confidence talking to other people. And then she's got her own responsibility and she can rely on herself in that sense, instead of him having to like go to work and then come home and then get the stuff then. Like, so she can't do anything. And the worst thing about it is the fact that she's put herself down and says she cannot do it. And at that point, she's just kind of just given up. And that's not good. The Cresswells are the other family. Pat and Spike have been married for 11 years and they have 2 children. The husband and wife are prison guards, so of course they are strict, there's structure, discipline, the kids are well behaved and mannerful, which is great. But Pat is the complete opposite of Lucy. Pat is strong, independent, in her husband's words, bossy. So in this household, it's what she says goes. But the problem with this family, compared to the other one, is the kids aren't allowed to freely express themselves. There's no fun. It's just rules. That's it. So far, I have to say, for her, the rules are good for kids. Kids need rules. They need the structure and stuff like that. But they need also fun. There needs to be a balance. So like this family is completely extreme rules. Another family completely extreme no rules. And that's where it all buggers up and stuff like that, because her kids probably want to express themselves and whatnot and everything. And then there needs to be a balance. There needs to be like, okay, we need to chill out and stuff like that. And I don't know how to, I don't have children or anything, by the way. I'm just thinking of just like how it should be. When I have children, whenever that day comes, I hope to be actually a decent mum and give them rules and structure, but I don't want to ever like treat them how like that other mum, like swearing in front of them and stuff like that. It's just vulgar. There's no need for it. I don't like that. Like I said, I don't have any children at the moment, but when I do become a mum, it is important for children to have balance. There needs to be fun, but there also needs to be a good bedtime. As parents, what we need to teach children, not put a bloody iPad in front of them because we can't be arsed. Honestly, I fucking hate that so much you have no idea. Oh yeah, Lucy and Tony also smoke around the kids. Nothing wrong with being a smoker, but like if you're around children, then yeah, I would say that's not a good thing, especially like they don't want them breathing, and that's not good. Now, I smoked cigarettes for many years, and my partner and I quit back in 2019, so I don't have an issue with smoking at all, and I never will. Just don't be dumb and fall asleep with it in your mouth. I didn't do that or anything, it's just common fucking sense. You may go up in flames, and no one wants that shit. The only issue I do have is smoking around children. Children are sponges. They will copy everything you do. I know that because I was once a kid. My grandma smoked around me all the time, and I thought it was cool. Okay, like everyone else, when I was young, we thought smoking was cool. And funnily enough, my grandma was the one who got me into smoking at 16 years old. Yeah, I was 16 when I first tried a cigarette. And she'd buy them for me. And at the time, I thought, my God, she's so cool. She's so awesome. Like, she's the best grandma ever. No, she wasn't. Looking back, no, she was not. That was not a good thing to do. Obviously, health reasons as well, but I feel that the impression that smoking in front of children as an adult is worse, because that child can grow up and want to start smoking and be like that, or they know it's like a normal thing. And I've had many of my friends, past boyfriends, people I've met have started smoking due to that experience. So that's just from my own experience anyway. Anyway, so the wife swap. Lucy has so many chores and stuff to do for the house, you know, like keep everything tidy and stuff like that. She does work. At one point, she works in the gym in the prison, and she does that for a while. Whereas Pat has to deal with the unruly kids, and Tony is drunk and ass because Tony likes to go out a lot with his friends, leaving Pat with all the children. And by the way, Tony does this when Lucy's around. This is not because Lucy's buggered off at the swap or anything like that. He's just trying to get away with stuff. No. He does that regularly. He goes out with his friends all the time. Pretty much every week. I think it's a few times a week that he goes out with his friends, and then she just sits at home with the children and he gets pissed. You know what? She's like got the patience of a saint, because she has to deal with like inmates all day for being in the prison. So this idiot coming in, and she's just like, oh, you know what, you're just an inmate, I'll deal with you when I change my rules, and then you'll be a sober arsehole. But him coming in like that, oh, I've taken the piss, eh? What a prick.
She can't wait for her change over rules. So I think I may be barred from going out.
Yeah, but you should be thinking about your children. And the same goes though, and not just him. If there was like the wife was doing it, either way, like they're choosing to go out with their friends, and there's nothing wrong. Obviously, your life does not stop. Again, I'm not got children. I'm just staying from my perspective. Your life doesn't stop, but your life is like looking after this little human. You know, it's the same if you have like an animal. Like you've taken that responsibility on, so therefore like you should be coming second to that. Like if you're looking after an animal, and like we had a neighbour, I'm not even kidding, we had a neighbour that lived above us at the time, and she left her dog for 12 hours. We counted 12 hours. That dog was barking all through the night because she would go to the pub and get pissed with her friends, and we tried to call the cops and all that kind of stuff, right? Nothing happened because the police are shit. But they didn't do anything because they couldn't do anything because apparently the dog was fine because it was getting fed. That dog howled and had all these friggin' detachment problems or attachment problems, whatever the hell it's called, because she would leave it alone. These kids are going to grow up and have no boundaries, have no rules if this keeps going, and the dad isn't there to tell them that they're doing things like telling them off because he's away getting pissed. And it's like, oh my god, you have children, look after them. And he's just like, oh no, what have I done? Oh, just as my granny would say, I'm going damn in. Oh, there's a beanie baby in the corner, cute.
That I may find very hard. So that's like clipping a bird's wings, isn't it, I suppose?
Clipping a bird's wings, so it's the same as I can't go out with my friends. Oh my god, that's so annoying. During the swap, the Compton kids got him down with head lice, and Tony is so laid back about it, he doesn't care.
Wait, this is hundreds.
Show me, let's have a look.
There's like hundreds and hundreds.
Oh.
Hold on, you.
So, who's been checking their head
The mum.
since?
The mum checks it. I don't ever check the hair.
Oh, and so,
Why
so
don't
she
you
hasn't
check
told
the
you about
head?
it?
What
No,
is,
she
you know
checked
why
it.
he doesn't check the head? Because he's not got any hair. And he's just like, well, I don't have to bother my hair, so I won't check theirs. Screw it. They can all have my hair. So he'll be like, check their hair, you... My god. But he just goes to work, comes home, sits on his arse, and then just watches telly and goes to bed. Oh, no. What a lazy bastard. Like, honestly, I feel like a meteoroid could hit this man and destroy all life on Earth, and he is the last one alive, and he'd be like, meh. Seriously. Actually, he'll probably be like this. Oh no, my pub's gone. My friends. Ugh. What a prat. But Pat comes to the rescue and deep cleans all the bedding, washes the kids' hair, and manages to get rid of the head lice. So the rules happen, and Lucy has a party, and Spike isn't happy about it because his kids are way up past their bedtime. I think it's like during the week, but I'm not entirely sure. But just his reaction, it seems like it's like a weekday, like a Wednesday or something like that, and they're obviously not really happy. So it's fair that he doesn't want his children up that time of night. I totally get it. I feel because Lucy doesn't really get to let her hair down at home, like going out with her friends or anything like that, or even her husband. She's like trying to unload everything there, and it doesn't bode well for Spike. He's just a completely different person, completely different way of expressing than she is. Like, he's like chill, and she's like blah. He doesn't like it. Pat has her rules, and she doesn't like the swearing that Tony does. So she gets a swear jar, and every time he swears, he has to put in 20p in the jar. Pat buys educational board games for the kids, but one of the kids dumps the £40 worth of games in the bin, and Pat goes off her nut. Honestly, I'm behind her. 40 quid is a lot of money. She tells off the kids, and Tony just, oh my god, Tony just mez through it all because he's that kind of guy. But there is a breakthrough. Tony actually starts giving a shit. Well, it's because Pat forces him to do so, because she heads out for the night, and she looks glamorous as hell when she does, by the way, just saying. So he has to look after the kids, and he does a damn good job. The kids are still alive, and they're put to bed in a timely manner. So he can do it if he puts his mind to it, which is great. And Tony starts thinking, like, after the kids went to bed, he starts thinking on the couch, and he's just like, I've been very lazy, and I want to be a better dad, and things like that. And we're just like, bravo, Pat, well done, well done. On the last night, Lucy heads to the local pub with Spike, and they sit and have a blether. to all my American friends out there, blether means talking in Scottish slang, if you will. During this, Lucy has a go at Spike and calls him and his kids really, really nasty shit. And yeah, they just don't see eye to eye. Afterwards, the swap ends. The couple send meet and discuss what happened during the swap, and did they learn from each other? No, not really. Lucy has a shouting match with Pat. Kind of. It's more like Lucy shouts over everything everyone says, to be honest. Tony does say he's going to do lots more with the kids and with Lucy, so Tony learns stuff. Yay! Pat turns around at the end and says this.
You got some out of it, didn't you, Lucy?
Yeah, what did you get out of it?
I got lice.
You got what?
I got lice.
Yeah, well.
To clean out.
I thought that was pretty funny and summed up her week. A really irritating week that you really just want to get rid of and never ever think about again.
Just don't do kids. Because they're constantly in your ear all the time and you're doing something for them all the time.
Why did you have them then? Oh my god. Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching another episode of Wifeswap, the UK edition. The mother on this episode just made my Scottish blood boil and I had to rant about it. I've reacted to 2 other Wifeswap episodes prior to this one, so you can click up here if you want to check them out. If you aren't familiar with this show, it is about 2 families who are the complete polar opposite of each other and they swap wives for 2 weeks. On the first week, the wives follow the family's rules, and on the second week, the wives have their own rules that the families must follow. And in doing so, it is supposed to help the families change for the better. Sometimes it helps, and sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time, there's lots of drama and chaos. There is a UK, USA, and Australian edition of this show. So, on this episode, we have the Stricklands. Michelle and Ian have been together for 6 years, and they have 3-year-old twins, a boy and a girl. Michelle also has a 16-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Michelle works as a barmaid in a local bar and is also where she spends most of her leisure time. Michelle and Ian love darts and like to go out 5 nights a week, leaving Michelle's daughter to look after the twins.
Just don't do kids. Because they're constantly in your ear all the time and you're doing something for them all the time. If I had no kids, what would my priorities be? Me, and me even more.
Why did you have them then? If you don't want them, why did you decide to, have them? Oh my god. She doesn't like to engage with her kids and comes across that the only reason she had kids was for the sake of it. At one point, she says during the swap, she was devastated that she was pregnant again and she was going to have triplets. Unfortunately, one of them died during pregnancy and she said, "Thank Christ." I don't know, I just think coming from a mother that just sounds very cruel to me. Her husband works full time, but he also looks after the kids, so he'll get up in the morning and get the kids ready for school while she lazes around in her bed. She doesn't do any of the cleaning either and leaves the house in a bit of a state. I can understand that she won't get home till the back of 2 in the morning, so yeah, the dad can look after the kids in the morning and get them ready for school. What I don't agree with is that she gets up and then refuses to do the cleaning in the house later on. What is the harm in running a hoover around or doing some dishes? It's not like she's hungover.
It's just like a constant piss up of life, isn't it? Go to the bar. You get slaughtered half the time. I can't even remember going home.
Never mind, but still. The other family is the Rickards. Yvonne and Dave have been married for 10 years. They have 4 children, a son who is 8, and 3 daughters who are 10, 5 and 2. Yvonne is a perfectionist. She loves cleaning and has very high standards. She's a stay-at-home mum, while her husband Dave is a full-time electrician. Because of Yvonne's very high standards, she likes everything to be perfect to the point where her living room becomes more of a showroom than an actual lived-in area of the house.
She can put her cushions out on the sofa if there's anybody coming, but they're not allowed to sit on them. If they went to sit down, she'd take the cushion off the chair. They're just literally for show. She likes to keep everything perfect.
Oh no, no. I don't like that. I love the fact that, for our couch, right? We have a fabric couch, and you know how you get those froze over it. Whoops, that's me hitting the mic. You know how you got those froze over. Ours is green. We have that on the couch, because I remember growing up, my grandma had it for the cats and stuff like that, and I thought it was just awesome. So, if we ever want to get a dog or anything like that, because we're dog people, we love our dogs, we there it's for the dogs to sit on and stuff like that, you know, so it keeps the couch clean, blah blah blah. But we have just the cushions on the couch all the time, right? Because that's how I like it. I have a certain way to like have all my cushions around me when I'm like having my dinner or whatever like that. Be right back, coffee on. No worries at all. I will see when you get back. And we also have like our duvets on the couch as well, because it's just nice and cozy. I like coziness. Some people do this, and that's fair enough for them, but I couldn't live like the fact is like, okay, the cushions must be on the couch when guests come over. I was literally about to say customers there. When guests come over, but then you can't sit on them. No, what's the point? That's just like, I will have this dress, but it will never sit on my body. It will be in the fucking cupboard at all times against my other dresses, but I will never wear it. What's the point? But she doesn't have to be perfect, and I hope for this anyway, that she's just going to learn that she can just calm the fuck down. So yeah, I just feel that for me and my partner, we like to have a cozy house and, I don't know, a welcoming home. It's pretty bizarre to me that some people live this way. It's like living a showroom Pinterest life, and I just don't get it. Also, I'm too lazy, and I would tire of chucking the cushions in the cupboard every bloody night and day because some bastard came round and ate my biscuits and drank all my tea. Nah. Put the bloody cushions out, women, and enjoy life. There is more to life than plumping a bloody cushion and bringing out a goddamn rug. The kids have a routine of changing out of their uniforms, and as soon as they get home from school and getting their homework done right away. I completely agree with this. I was also brought up this way, and it puts you in a better mindset. However, I am no angel, and sometimes I'd be hanging out with my friends and didn't bother getting in my uniform or get my homework done first because I just couldn't be arsed. But I do agree with this mother that getting the homework done first and then having playtime afterwards is a better way of doing things. The kids also have a strict bedtime, but even though the kids are off to bed, Yvonne is still cleaning away. Now, I get it. He isn't working all day, as has she. But he could give her a hand. Or go chat to her while she's doing whatever cleaning stuff still needs done at 11 o'clock at night. Unfortunately, there is no socialising in their relationship, and they don't talk, they don't go out together, and they just don't do anything at all since they've had kids. So, the wives swap lives. And while wandering around the new home, Michelle sees how pretty the girl's bedroom is and says this.
Nice and pink. Wish my kids' room was like this.
It could be if you actually got paint and then went and put the money that you used to go out and get pissed and put it in a little pot and then go to B&Q and then buy the paint and then come home and then paint it like that. But you are a selfish woman, so you won't. I mean, it's the bloody truth. So during the swap, Michelle has to keep the house all tidy and to the highest standards that Yvonne keeps, which does take its toll on her. And she's not used to this type of lifestyle. Whereas Yvonne goes to work for the first time ever, as a barmaid in the pub that Michelle works in.
Yvonne stopped cleaning and started to enjoy being out at work.
I don't know, does that look right?
Well, you know what? If she's not had a job in her life, the best one for her to do would be going to the bar and working behind the bar, because that was my first proper job. And I when I first worked behind the bar, I was very in my shell and didn't open up, and then I'm out of it now, haha. Which is why I can do this kind of shit, because before I'm just I know I do that. But now, it's so cute, and she clearly really enjoys it. However, the next day she has to go back to doing nothing. She has to live the life of Michelle and do no cleaning, even though just by looking at the house, it really needs done. Ian does all the cleaning, what he can do anyway. I mean, he's working full time and watches the kids. It's not surprising a lot has piled up. Yvonne sits and has a chat with Ian.
Would you never say, God, it'd be nice if you could get up and tidy or do something?
2 hours on.
Really?
Yeah. Don't bother me. Nothing bothers me.
Would you never say to her, I'm tired, Michelle, can you just help me?
No.
I think you're a big softie.
Softie isn't the word I would use. It begins with an S and it's a 4-letter word. But I don't want to get in trouble, so you lot can figure it out, okay? But yeah, nothing bothers this guy, at all. But I think I know why. He treats him nice in loads of ways, and I wonder what that could be. I don't think for him doing the dishes every day is worth the one blowjob a week. Anyway, so back to Michelle. She is trying to get through the cleaning routine and finding it a struggle. I mean, she doesn't clean her own house, so diving into a very strict high standard cleaning regime with no training, I guess you could say. Like, Yvonne showing her the ropes first and how the standards should be, then Michelle could visually see, like, if it was that kind of show, you know. But I mean, I guess she saw it when she first arrived in the home, but I don't think that's the same as actually being shown how to prepare the bed sheets with like the hospital corners that you would do as a housekeeper. That's what I did anyway. So it's pretty unfair to expect Michelle to do such high standards. But Dave expects it because, well, that's what his wife does.
These first few days, she should be doing it how Yvonne does it, whether she wants to or not.
Like, I can understand from her perspective, if you're not, like, used to doing, like, a very strict routine like this other lady, so obviously she's got a standard, so her husband is going to be looking at it and thinking, like, oh, you didn't polish this mirror to her standards. Of course she's not going to do that because she's not got the same standards as the other one, but as long as she's actually doing it and doing it to the best of her ability, that's important. But the husband, if he knows the standard of the wife, then he should be like chipping in. Even if he like, obviously the rules haven't changed yet, but like he could be clean up a little. I don't know. He won't do it anyway, but still, just whinging for it. However, the problem I have with Dave is that he never helps out Michelle or Yvonne technically, since she's his wife, when it comes to the weekend. Michelle has to do all the cleaning on the weekend when he's on the couch watching TV. He's minding the kids, technically, but no, he's not. They just happen to be there watching the telly. I don't think he even realises they're there.
And while Michelle's hard at work, Dave's not. He'll spend his weekend relaxing.
Like, it's fine for the fact that he's going to work and then the mum stays home to look after the children and look after the house, because that's still work, right? But what's not right is the fact that when it comes to the weekend, when there's both of them there, and he could be doing half of the housework and working together and half of the work looking after the children. So if she's, for example, giving the kids a bath, all right, he could be getting the housework done, running the Hoover. I don't think they have pets, so I don't think they need, I don't know, I've not got children, so I don't know how many times a friggin' week you need to like hoover the house or something. Like, I wouldn't expect it, like, for just two adults, like the situation I'm in, like me and my partner, is we don't like have to hoover all the goddamn time, like every single day, because it's just the two of us. Although I have these pink socks, these pink fucking, what they call it, slipper sock things, and they're just like pink wool everywhere, so until I sort that out, then we have to. But that's only the problem. But this man, the man in this, should be taking the responsibility for looking after the children. He shouldn't be sitting his fat arse and watching the telly when she's upstairs trying to get the kids sorted out. He could be like playing with the children, doing stuff like that. I don't know. Something that's not this anyway. Meanwhile, Yvonne and Ian head out to the bar together, and Yvonne enjoys herself and gets pissed and has a whale of a time. Ian gets up for the karaoke night and sings a song for Michelle, which is just so cute. I love that he's so adorable, and it makes me wonder about Michelle, to be honest. She never talks about Ian or her family in a loving way. You know, we've not really heard what the other woman, honestly, I don't even know these people's names. The blonde one, let's call her Blonde. The blonde one, does she love her husband? Because she doesn't seem to like her kids very much. She thinks they're annoying, and she doesn't really talk about her husband or boyfriend or whatever his like status is to her. But he got up and like sang a song about her, so he clearly really loves her, but you don't really know what her feelings is on. She just seems to like hate everybody. I don't know. A couple of days in, Michelle starts feeling the stress from doing the routine of nothing but cleaning, and has noticed that she and Dave haven't been speaking or spending time together. She has a word with him and asks what the communication is like with him and Yvonne.
Fuck the fucking hoovering. Sit and have a beer and have a cuddle on the couch, but you don't do it.
Weekends, we do talk during the weekends. Well, I think we do.
Michelle suggests, why don't Dave and Yvonne have a date night? And he says he'd like to, but once a week, more like every couple of months. So Michelle says it doesn't have to be going out all the time, just stay home and talk. I completely agree. You don't even have to go out. You literally don't have to go out. And me and my partner were talking about this yesterday, right? Because I seen a TikTok and it was from The Big Bang Theory, right? And it's when, and I really didn't like it. Like, I actually put a little comment on it because it pissed me off that much.
We're not counting this as a date, are we?
But I think the right answer here is no.
When a guy asks me to spend time with him, maybe he planned something a little more interesting than hanging out at home watching TV.
Yeah, so she basically says to him, like, if you're expecting me to come over, I would want a better date night. Like, you know, put more effort in, basically. And I got annoyed. I'm like, what is wrong with watching TV? What is wrong with sitting down with your partner and chilling and enjoying yourself? You're still you're got company, you are spending time together. And the fact, like, he's saying, like, oh, we don't go out once a week. We could go out once a week and stuff like that. It's like, it doesn't need to go out and be a big, massive thing or go to a restaurant or something like that. Like, that's still nice, but literally spend time together. What we do is, I said this as well, we both said this, like, literally every day is a date. Every time you spend time with your partner, that is a date, because you're spending time with them. Doesn't matter what it is time together. And like, this man, oh my god, I want to scream at him, go back in the 2000s and have a go at him. Because like, at the moment we're watching Pokemon X and Y, well, XYZ now, because it's on the third and last season of this season, and we just like I make the dinner, and then he sets it all up, and then we sit and we have our dinner. But during watching Pokemon, it's not like just like what you've been seeing with them and they just put the telly on and they don't speak. Nothing like that. We eat our food, right, watching Pokemon, and we pause it like I do as I'm chatting to you so now. Literally pause the show, blah blah blah, talking about whatever else is going on in the show, and then we play it again. And every time we do that, we sit down, say for instance it's 4 o'clock, right, hypothetically, and we'll put the telly on, and we will not finish our dinner / like our show till, even though like it would probably take about, if you're not talking, about an hour, okay, and we can make that last for about 3, because we're watching a bunch of episodes, we're talking during it, we're just like blah 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 and spending time together. And that is what you should be doing all the time. We do that when we're playing Dead by Daylight. That is what we do as well. We just like put that on for a few hours and play that together. And it's fun, and that is a date. You don't have to go anywhere. Like this woman's saying, like, you can go and take her to the pub. You don't have to go and do that. You could literally sit at home and have a game night. You could literally sit at home and watch telly and cuddle on the couch. My god, this man thinks he has to do all this like amazing stuff. God. So the real change happens, and one of Michelle's rules is she wants the kids to look after each other in the morning when they have to get ready for school. Which is absolutely absurd considering how young they are. She does this because she wants a lie-in. Honestly, this woman is unreal. The kids are too young to be taking care of their younger sibling and getting themselves ready for school, in my opinion. They aren't used to it and haven't been shown how to do certain morning tasks. It's just pure neglect from this mother. On the first day of the kids being independent, they have slept in and are running late. But does Michelle get up and hurry them along? Does she fuck?
But Michelle's determined to have her life.
Oh my god, this woman, she's not even getting out to help them with their stuff. They've slept in and she's just like, oh, I'll go back to bed then. Oh my god, I'd get that bit of paper and slap her in the face with it.
Better be ready! Get dressed!
She's shouting from the room. Oh. Oh. Okay, I think Hannah's the second youngest, or something like that. So yeah, she would need help from school. The other two are like big enough to get themselves sorted and things like that in comparison. But yeah, he's right. She needs to get her hair sorted and stuff like that. The mum needs to do the hair and everything, and then she needs to get out for the toddler. Like she fall down the stairs or anything. It's things like that. It's so scary. I'm sure the cameraman probably helped her, but still. Yeah, I don't think it's really fair for the kids having to look after a wee kid in the morning, especially when they're getting ready for school, because they're already trying to get themselves ready and get that sorted before they go to school, and they've got to run around after a little baby. No, that's bad. She should be looking after the wee baby. Honestly, like, I think a child, I don't have children, like I've said like many times tonight on the stream, but I think a child should be independent when they get to a point of like getting themselves up in the morning, like when her role should be a bit less as a mum, when they're probably about like 10, when they're just like about probably in primary 6 I would say, because at that point they're on the cusp of going to high school, and then they'll be like a teenager, and that's when they should start be getting up themselves and stuff like that, or at least making their own lunch or something. But at 5 years old, to get up in the morning, no, not at all. You don't even know how to get your hair done or anything at that point. No, she's just really lazy.
Boss.
I think the fact, like, what her approach is trying to make them independent, which is fair enough, because kids obviously need to be so they can get grown up and know how to look after themselves. But the age they are, she should be supervising, and she didn't. And she was too busy in her bed and not caring. And there's like children, and there's like stairs, and the kids could fall down the stairs. The kids could be fighting. You don't know. She needed to supervise and let them get ready for school, but be around. And that's the problem. I know that one of the daughters is 10, but that's beyond the point. She hasn't been taught to be independent from her parents. Like, let's just say Michelle could have let the 10-year-old make her own lunch with Michelle supervising the night before. I used to do it when I was a kid. I used to make my lunch the night before, and then it would be a task I didn't have to worry about doing in the morning, especially if I'd slept in. Since knowing that she can do it herself and doesn't need her mum to do it when she returns from the swap. But the daughter isn't just looking after herself during this real change. She has 3 other siblings to look after too. And like I said, there could be a fight. Someone could fall, or there could be an accident, or school books could be forgotten. These are children, not little adults or teenagers. And Michelle needs to sort herself out and be a better mum. This pissed me off so much that she's willingly lying in the bed, shouting from the room. These kids must have been so stressed without help. I really don't like Michelle. I honestly think she is the worst mother I have seen on this show so far. She doesn't care about her kids or her partner, just herself. Yvonne's real change is that she wants to take on the woman's role of the house and look after the kids and do the housework. This is what she likes, and that's her choice. When I say a woman's role, this is the words that she has used, and I'm just repeating it back. But another rule of hers is she asks Ian to take down the dartboard and the trophies that he and Michelle have won from dart competitions. But as Ian packs all the trophies away, this happens.
The achievements. We're dart players as well as mums and dads. That's all right, well.
Are they all pro? Ian.
You know what? I think this man is literally going to have a me, myself, and Irene moment. He is too nice. Even that didn't even make him snap. The fact that he just went and broke all the trophies that him and his wife went and got for the darts competitions, that didn't even break him. He is going to turn around in a shop one day and he's just going to snap and turn into whatever his face was in that film. I can't remember. Hank. He's going to turn around and become a Hank. Like I said, this man doesn't show much annoyance. So another one of Michelle's rules is she's not doing any of the cleaning whatsoever. So one night, when her and Dave's sister are out in the town, the kids decide to tidy up the living room for when the adults get home, which is lovely. They respect their home and their parents, and they know that their mum works hard to keep the house clean and tidy for them. But Michelle is annoyed at the kids cleaned, whereas Dave is over the moon, and she gets upset.
I can't believe the kids tidied up. How sad is that?
1, things can get broken. 2, things can get lost. And 3, if someone stands on it, they could get hurt. So really what the kids did is stop a hazard happening. And she's crying about it. My God, I wanted him to stand on the Lego because he's pissed me off all this bloody week. Oh, mop your tears, silly lady. So the swap comes to an end. And you can imagine Yvonne and Michelle do not get on at all. Now, I can agree and disagree with both of them. Michelle thinks because Dave lives in the house, it shouldn't be all left to Yvonne. Yes, I do agree. However, he works 10 to 12 hours, 5 days a week. Yvonne doesn't work. Therefore, she is at home, keeping the house in order and looking after the kids. So she's doing that while he's at work. By the weekends, when he is off, he should be helping and not always relaxing. You can use the argument, yeah, but Yvonne likes it. Sure, valid point, but Dave should want to spend time with her. Help her out. Put a wash on so it saves her doing it until 11 at night. They live together and they should be working together. Also, from taking a break from cleaning all the time, it frees up time for them to relax together. Put a movie on or just sit and chat about their day, or if they can head out for the evening. But after hearing that Dave was out partying a lot with Michelle, Yvonne has had enough and gets up to leave. So the wives return home and nothing much changes, to be honest. Yvonne still wants a perfect home, but is trying to get used to the cushions and rug being out all the time. Dave appreciates her more and helps out more, which is great. But they do head out together and they do more together, which is lovely. Michelle and Ian,
I did think about doing an hour cleaning every day, but it's a thought that counts.
Michelle tells me to do something and we get on and do it.
My God, this man, so his wife tells him to do something and he just goes and does it. No, compromise, talk. It's not, she's not the queen. She's not the god on the bloody house. Fuck. Oh well. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please remember to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you know when I will be next uploading a video. Also, comment below what you'd like to see me react to next, and have an awesome rest of your day. Bye for now.